So what's Diddy like?
I, you know,
You know Sam Bankman-Fried, right? Well, Diddy's cellmate just dropped some surprising info about what the rapper's been doing behind bars. And trust me, it's not what you'd expect. Word is, Diddy's basically running the whole place, with inmates actually fighting over who gets to make his bed. Yeah, it sounds wild, but that's what people are saying. Diddy's been making moves inside jail, and I'm about to break down everything you need to know.
and I don't know, he's been kind. I've made some friends. It's a weird environment.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. They also saying that Diddy, he got inmates in jail making his bed. You heard about that?
In one of the most unexpected juxtapositions of recent times, Sean Combs found himself sharing a cell unit not with another music or entertainment figure, but with Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced former crypto billionaire whose meteoric rise and dramatic collapse sent shockwaves through the financial world. This unlikely pairing has fascinated and baffled many, given their completely different worlds, one built on beats and branding, the other on blockchain and billion-dollar bets gone wrong. Rumors have emerged about late-night conversations, strategic planning sessions, and an unlikely friendship forged in the cold confines of the detention center, painting a picture of resilience and adaptation that blurs the lines between celebrity and criminal notoriety. This odd but compelling cellmate story adds yet another layer to the complex saga unfolding around Diddy's time behind bars.
It's sort of a combination of a few other high-profile cases and then a lot of, ex-gangsters or sort of, alleged ex-gangsters.
Definitely alleged. So what's Diddy like?
Obviously I've only seen one piece of him, which is, Diddy in prison.
Inside Diddy's unit at MDC Brooklyn, a complex and volatile social ecosystem unfolds daily, far different from any VIP gathering or industry event he's accustomed to. The inmate population is a volatile mix of high-profile figures and alleged gang affiliates, each with their own agendas, hierarchies, and survival strategies. Diddy's celebrity status adds a curious twist to this dynamic, simultaneously shielding him and making him a target. Reports have circulated that many inmates view his presence as an opportunity. Some compete for favors, hoping to earn his goodwill or gain access to resources through his influence. This prison celebrity phenomenon creates an unusual power imbalance, where status is less about money and more about perceived influence and protection. Some insiders say that Diddy leverages his reputation to broker peace, negotiate alliances, and even provide benefits like commissary or phone time to others.
Good at chess. That's one thing I learned. Former armed robbers who don't speak English, and probably didn't graduate middle school, are a surprising number of them are fairly good at chess. I'm not saying they're grandmasters, but I lose games to them all the time. I was not expecting that.
Which can elevate his standing and create a form of currency within the prison walls. Yet, this dynamic is fragile. The line between respect and resentment can blur quickly, sparking tensions and sometimes violent altercations. It's an environment where alliances shift overnight, and survival depends on navigating not only the physical challenges of prison, but also the intricate social web that governs daily life. For Diddy, this means balancing the maintenance of his stature with the need to avoid conflicts that could jeopardize his safety and legal position. This insider view of the social landscape inside his unit reveals a layer of prison life that few outside the walls ever get to see, exposing the raw and often ruthless reality behind the headlines. Sam Bankman-Fried's rare glimpse into Diddy's behavior behind bars has added a surprising twist to the narrative, challenging many assumptions about the hip-hop mogul's prison persona. In interviews and private conversations reported by sources close to the detention center, Bankman-Fried described Diddy as unexpectedly kind, respectful, and grounded, qualities not often highlighted in media portrayals of larger-than-life celebrities. According to these accounts, Diddy interacts with fellow inmates with a level of humility and patience that contrasts sharply with his public image as a commanding and sometimes controversial figure. Rather than using his celebrity status to intimidate, he reportedly employs it to foster a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect within his unit. This behavior has reportedly earned him a certain level of genuine goodwill, even among some of the more hardened inmates. The contrast between Diddy's larger-than-life persona on stage and the man who quietly listens, shares, and respects others in the prison hallways offers a nuanced, humanizing glimpse into the man behind the headlines. It's a reminder that incarceration strips away many of the external trappings of fame, revealing core character traits in stark relief. While speculation abounds about the motives behind this behavior, some say it's strategic, others say it's simply genuine. The emerging picture complicates the public's understanding of Diddy, painting him as more than just a celebrity caught in legal crosshairs, but as a complex individual adapting to an incredibly difficult environment. Among the more bizarre and revealing stories to emerge from inside MDC Brooklyn is the curious case of inmates reportedly fighting over the simple privilege of making Diddy's bed. This seemingly trivial detail has become a flashpoint revealing the subtle, often overlooked ways in which power, status, and desire for favor operate in prison life. In an environment where even the smallest privileges can be hard-won and carry significant meaning, the act of tending to Diddy's personal space has taken on an outsized importance. Reports suggest that some inmates actively compete to earn the role of bedmaker, viewing it as a coveted position that grants them indirect access to Diddy's influence and resources. This phenomenon has been described by insiders as a form of groupie behavior within the prison context, a display of loyalty and deference that, while unusual, underscores how celebrity status translates into new forms of social currency behind bars. The intensity of these contests reflects the deep human need for connection and status, even in the most constrained circumstances. It also exposes a surprising dimension of prison culture, where power is negotiated not only through physical dominance, but through symbolic acts that reinforce social hierarchies. This small, yet telling story about bedmaking has captured public attention, illustrating the strange and often overlooked rituals that define life inside the prison system, a world where even the mundane can become a battlefield for respect and survival. One of the most striking aspects of Diddy's time inside MDC Brooklyn is the way his financial resources continue to shape his experience and influence, even in confinement. Reports have surfaced suggesting that he uses his funds to buy commissary items not only for himself, but also for other inmates, an act that can significantly boost his standing within the prison's informal economy. Money in prison isn't just about personal comfort. It's a powerful tool for building alliances, ensuring protection, and negotiating social capital. Alongside this, rumors claim that Diddy is able to access more phone time than most inmates, a coveted privilege that allows him to maintain contact with the outside world and potentially manage his legal affairs and business interests from behind bars. More controversially, there are whispers that he may be using other inmates' phone accounts or systems to circumvent strict monitoring protocols, raising questions about how technology and resources intersect with incarceration in today's world. These allegations, while unconfirmed, fuel speculation about the degree to which wealth can insulate a high-profile inmate from some of the harsher realities of prison life. They also highlight a broader issue about inequalities within the justice system, where access to money and influence can create vastly different experiences behind the same bars. The ability to leverage financial power in this way doesn't just reflect Diddy's business acumen, it underscores the complex intersections between fame, wealth, and survival inside the prison environment. Although much about Diddy's daily life inside MDC Brooklyn remains behind closed doors, bits of information gleaned from sources and his cellmate Bankman-Fried have sparked speculation about how he spends his nights. Far from the glamorous nightlife and celebrity events, his nightly routine appears to be a mix of quiet reflection, strategic thinking, and carefully navigated social interactions. Reports claim that after lights out, Diddy often spends time reading legal documents, music industry updates, and personal correspondence, indicating a focus on both his immediate legal battles and future career plans. Some speculate that he's using this time to strategize his next moves, from managing his defense to planning his eventual return to the public eye. There's also talk about late-night conversations with cellmates and other inmates, where he might be organizing alliances or simply maintaining connections critical for survival in prison. This blend of intellectual engagement and social maneuvering paints a picture of a man who refuses to be broken by incarceration, instead turning it into a period of quiet power consolidation. While it's impossible to know the full extent of his nightly activities, the reports challenge the simplistic narratives often associated with celebrity inmates, revealing a complex, driven individual making the best of a profoundly difficult situation. The idea that Diddy is actively shaping his reality behind bars, rather than passively enduring it, adds few contrasts could be more jarring than the one between Diddy's past life as a billionaire mogul and his current existence confined to a prison cell. Once a man whose decisions influenced global entertainment, fashion, and culture, he now faces strict financial restrictions, loss of personal freedoms, and an environment designed to strip away all luxury and privilege. The luxury cars, private jets, and multi-million-dollar parties are replaced by institutional meals, rigid schedules, and constant surveillance. This fall from opulence to austerity is not just a physical change, but a profound psychological upheaval. Rumors and insider accounts describe moments of adjustment, where the realities of prison life force him to reevaluate his identity and priorities. Financial restrictions inside mean that even if he wanted to indulge in small comforts, the system's limits and his own legal constraints create boundaries that seem almost suffocating compared to his previous lifestyle. This humbling experience can be a stark reminder that no matter the size of one's empire, incarceration is a great equalizer in some ways, at least within the walls of a prison. Yet, there are hints that Diddy is not merely enduring this transition, but using it as a catalyst for reinvention, potentially preparing for a comeback that could redefine his legacy. This dramatic lifestyle contrast underscores the fragility of fame and fortune when confronted with the unforgiving machinery of the justice system. Prison life is governed by an unspoken yet rigid hierarchy, a social order that determines everything from safety to access to resources. For someone like Diddy, entering this world means navigating a power structure that is both familiar and alien. His celebrity status gives him a certain level of instant recognition and respect, but it doesn't automatically translate to power within the prison's ecosystem. Instead, influence must be earned or negotiated through alliances, favors, and sometimes force. Reports indicate that Diddy occupies a unique position within this hierarchy, respected for his reputation and the resources he can provide, yet also needing to prove his strength and resilience in a world where physical dominance and street credibility carry weight. The power plays inside his unit involve complex negotiations, from controlling access to commissary items to mediating conflicts between inmates. Unlike the business boardrooms he's used to, these negotiations often have immediate and tangible consequences for safety and survival. Rumors suggest that Diddy's ability to adapt to this social structure is a key factor in his ongoing ability to maintain his status and avoid dangerous conflicts. The tension between influence and survival creates a high-stakes environment where one misstep can have serious repercussions, and where the balance of power shifts rapidly. Understanding this intricate social game adds depth to the story of Diddy's incarceration, revealing the nuanced ways in which power manifests behind bars. The whirlwind of stories surrounding Diddy's incarceration is a tangled mix of confirmed facts and swirling speculation, making it crucial to separate what's verified from the endless rumors that flood social media and gossip columns. Official records confirm his arrest and incarceration on serious charges, but beyond the hard data, much of the narrative is shaped by secondhand accounts and anonymous sources whose motives can be unclear. The media, always hungry for sensational headlines, often amplifies whispers into viral stories. Talk of power struggles, prison groupies, and covert influence can sometimes blur the line between reality and fantasy. Fans and critics alike have speculated about his behavior behind bars, with some claiming he's running an underground empire from his cell, while others suggest he's quietly keeping to himself, grappling with his new reality. These contrasting portrayals highlight the challenge of getting a clear picture in such a closed environment. The prison system itself is opaque, and without first-hand access, much remains hearsay. It's important to approach these stories with a healthy dose of skepticism, recognizing that some reports might be exaggerated or strategically leaked to shape public perception. What's undeniable is that Diddy's situation has captured public fascination precisely because it defies expectations. His fall from the heights of celebrity to the confines of a jail cell invites speculation, but discerning truth from rumor remains an ongoing challenge. While the drama of Diddy's jail life dominates headlines, the real battle is unfolding in the courtroom, where his legal team is locked in a high-stakes fight that could determine his future for years to come. The charges he faces, ranging from serious racketeering to alleged involvement in illicit networks, are complex and carry significant consequences. Legal experts suggest this case is a labyrinth of intricate evidence, witness testimonies, and prosecutorial strategy, making it far from a straightforward process. Meanwhile, reports claim that Diddy's behavior in jail, whether perceived as cooperative or confrontational, might subtly influence how judges or prosecutors view his character and risk factors. Defense attorneys often emphasize the importance of maintaining a composed demeanor behind bars, and any rumors of misconduct or manipulation could be leveraged by the prosecution to strengthen their case. Additionally, the pressure of ongoing media scrutiny complicates the legal environment, as public opinion can indirectly sway proceedings. There's also speculation that Diddy's team is negotiating behind the scenes, possibly exploring plea deals or cooperation agreements, although none of this has been confirmed. The outcome remains uncertain, and the trial's progression will likely reveal more about both the charges and Diddy's resilience under fire. But for now, the legal saga continues to cast a shadow over every aspect of his life. Beyond the flashing cameras, gossip columns, and viral rumors, what emerges is a deeply complex portrait of Diddy, one that defies easy categorization. He is simultaneously a symbol of enormous power and influence, and a man stripped of much of his freedom and accustomed privileges, facing the raw reality of incarceration. The mix of kindness reported by his cellmate, the controversial power plays alleged by insiders, and the psychological toll of confinement all paint a picture of a multifaceted human being wrestling with the consequences of his actions and the brutality of his new environment. This story challenges the simplistic narratives often assigned to celebrities caught in legal trouble, reminding us that behind the headlines lies a person grappling with vulnerability, identity, and survival. Diddy's journey is not just about scandal or downfall, but also about resilience and the human spirit's capacity to endure, even when the world seems to close in. Whether his story ends in redemption or further turmoil remains to be seen, but it undeniably reveals the complicated intersection of fame, justice, and humanity. For viewers, this is a chance to look beyond sensationalism and consider the real human cost of celebrity and incarceration. A sobering reminder that power and vulnerability often coexist in unexpected ways.